The Ultimate Husband. By Sky Kissing Wolf.
Episode 141. At that moment, the shark swam towards Megan. Megan was terrified and shouted, "Kent, help!" Even though she had plenty of life experiences, that was a shark coming to her. Kent grinned. It was time for him to be the hero to the rescue. Haha. He wanted to show Megan how manly he was. That was the reason he had arranged for this shark attack incident. The shark was fierce and was swimming aggressively among the ladies. However, the shark did not seem to bite. Zaylor and Justin had realized this fact too, so they braced themselves and went over to protect their partners. On the other hand, Daryl was floating at the side and watching. Lily was disappointed. Why would Daryl not go and protect her in such situations? It seemed like she had overestimated him. "Kent, hurry. Hurry." Megan was terrified. Why was the shark only chasing after her? "Megan dear, don't worry. Your husband is here." Kent laughed loudly while swimming towards her. He took out a knife he had prepared much earlier at the same time. Kent then looked as brave as he could, swam near Megan, and hugged her by the waist. He used his other knife-holding hand and shouting at the shark, "You bastard. How dare you come to my wife? Look what I've got here. Die now." At the same time, Kent hugged Megan even tighter and was enjoying her embrace. Megan did not know what was happening as she hugged around Kent's neck while feeling so touched. Although he was her fiancé, she had never let him touch her before, nor had they never kissed too. Even the number of times they held hands was limited. At that critical moment, Ken was so brave. Perhaps she was wrong to judge him and should treat him better in the future. Haha, haha. Daryl felt hilarious watching Kent acting like a madman. He would make a really good actor. Haha. Everyone at the shores did now know what had happened. They were stunned seeing Kent approaching the shark fearlessly. All of them admired his courage. Among almost 100 of them, no other person had that courage. People shouted, "Kent, be careful. That's a shark." Kent confidently aimed at the shark and pierced through its body. He had only midly touched the skin of the shark as his underwater helper immediately poured some pig blood and submerged deep into the water. Wow. The plan was perfect. Kent took a deep breath and acted as if he was still in shock. He hugged Megan tightly and brushed her shoulders. "It's fine now. Megan dear, your husband is here." "Thank you, Kent." Megan bit her lips and said softly. At that moment, she realized how brave her fiancé was. Wow. Everyone was cheering and clapping upon seeing that Kent had defeated the shark. Shit. Kent had killed the shark. Kent is so brave. Everyone had always felt Kent was a weak person with bodyguards handling all his situations, but he had proven to them that he was a different person. That was so cool. That was how a man should be. Only a man like him deserved to be with a goddess. Kent was enjoying his moment as he hugged Megan even tighter. "Kiss. Kiss," not sure who started shouting. "Kiss. Kiss." Kent had been waiting for that moment. Haha, finally the long-awaited moment. Megan was shy as she pushed him away and said, "What are you doing? There are so many people here." Although she had started to accept Kent, she still remained rational. How could they kiss in front of the crowd? Kent smiled and nodded. "Megan dear, please don't be angry. I just can't help myself." He felt that Megan had opened her heart to him, hence he need not rush as there would be plenty of opportunities. Episode 142. Wow, such good acting. Daryl laughed. It was as if they were in the movies. Daryl then turned to swim towards Lily. "Lily bud, what happened?" Daryl asked as he approached Lily with her face upset. Could she have been frightened by the fake shark? Daryl thought. Lily was disappointed and replied coldly, "I'm fine. I'm not in a mood. Don't speak to me." She turned to swim towards the shore without looking back at Daryl. The fiancé of others was bravely fighting off the shark, making her all proud, but her own husband was doing nothing. She felt foolish thinking Daryl had turned a new leaf when he got a job. It seemed he did not change after all. She should not have asked him along for the outing. Daryl was stunned by Lily's reaction. What happened to her all of a sudden? Just when he was about to catch up with her to find out further, there were shouting coming from the crowds on the shores again. There is another shark. Shit. There is another one. Under the screaming and shouting voices from the crowd, a black-colored fin emerged from the water not far away. The crowd was obviously not as frightened as before after witnessing Kent killing one rather easily. Although there was another shark, there was nothing to worry about as Kent was there. Though there was still a distance to the shores, everyone could just hide behind Kent and it would be safe. Brother Kent, do it again. Kill it. Daryl was stunned by the crowd's shouting. Wow, how many more actors did he hire? Daryl thought. Kent was in shock when he saw the second shark. He thought, what is wrong? Elle asked that boy to just act as a shark once, why is he back again? Shit. That was not right. The shark was swimming at a much faster speed and was more agile. Besides, the size of the shark. Shit. It was a real shark, a real shark. Oh shit. Run. Hurry, swim to the shore. Kent shouted crazily. Megan, who just felt safe beside him, was puzzled while looking at Kent and asked, Kent, why are you in a panic? Don't you have a knife in your hand? Kent was completely panicking now. He ignored Megan and started swimming to the shores as fast as he could. Kent, where are you going? Wait for me. Megan bit her lips as she saw Kent leaving her behind. Run. Run. This is a real shark. This is not a fake one. Run for your life. Kent was yelling as hard as he could as he swallowed a few big gulps of water. All that he wanted was to swim back on the shores as he did not want to die there. Due to the knife on Kent's hand being covered with blood from the fake shark incident, the shark, attracted by the blood smell, was swimming towards him. No matter how fast he could swim, he could never beat the shark. Please don't eat me, please don't eat me. Kent was tearing. Dear Father Shark, please don't eat me, I'm begging you. Kent shouted loudly. He then realized the blood on the knife was attracting the shark and tossed the knife away. The knife landed right among the ladies. The shark then charged towards Lily, Yvonne, and Megan. Megan was biting her lips. She never thought that Kent would lead the shark towards her. At this moment, everyone realized Kent was acting earlier. That was a fake shark, but the one in front now was the real one. Help! Lily's face was pale as she watched the shark charging towards her with nowhere to hide. She was hopeless. Gone. Her life was about to end. Episode 143. Everyone was covering their mouths at that time. Some were screaming too. The shark with its jaws wide open was charging towards Lily. No. Lily hopelessly closed her eyes and stood there waiting for her death. She was surprised those big jaws did not reach her at the end. She opened her eyes slowly and was in shock to see what was happening right in front of her eyes. Not only Lily, everyone else was holding their breath and the atmosphere went into complete silence. It was the sight of Daryl riding on the back of the shark, holding onto its fin, and continuously punching the shark. What? Everyone was stunned and could not say a word. Not a single sound was made. The shark was shaking profusely and its sharp teeth slit through Daryl's arm, causing a large wound with blood oozing out. Go, go. Daryl was shouting while covered with blood. But, what about you? Lily shivered and started crying. Daryl, I'm wrong. I'm wrong for thinking you are a coward. You're the only one that will save me. Go, go. Daryl was shouting with all of his might. Lily knew she needed to leave and stay out of his way upon hearing him yelling. She was praying for his safety while she swam towards the shore. The rest of them started to swim towards the shore too. Arg! Daryl shouted. The shark was too strong and had escaped from his grip as it charged towards the crowd. Almost everyone had arrived at the shore with Yvonne the only one left behind due to her poor stamina. She was just halfway to the shores. Yvonne froze upon seeing that shark was charging towards her. Quick! Swim over here! Daryl shouted. Yvonne got back to her senses when she heard Daryl's voice. She then swam towards Daryl, but the speed was really slow. Everyone on the shore was worried while watching them. Yvonne's admirers were hoping to jump into the water and save her. However, everyone did not take any action upon thinking about the fierce shark. They were just shouting and directing her while standing there on the shores. Yvonne, swim faster. The shark is right behind you. It's less than 5 feet away, hurry up. Finally, Daryl managed to swim towards her and held her by her waist. He tried to channel some of his internal energy from the energy field of his body to hers. Yvonne, who felt dizzy earlier, now felt energized once Daryl held onto her. She felt a sense of security emerged in her. Let me distract it while you swim towards the shore. Daryl spoke close to her ear softly. Yvonne's entire body shivered. She had never been so close to a man since she was little. She blushed and nodded her head. He made her feel safe. Yvonne was swimming when those silly thoughts came through her mind. She did not care about him being a live-in son-in-law of the Linden family. She just wanted to be with him and she would feel safe. With her silly thoughts in mind, she suddenly saw Lily standing by the shores and blushed. How could she have those silly thoughts? She felt so ashamed. Splash. Just at that moment, there was a big splash. It could be seen clearly the shark was over 10 feet long. It took a leap with its jaws wide open and aiming towards Daryl. Shit. What a big one. Luckily, I left fast enough. Kent was happily thinking. Although Megan would be upset about him leaving her behind, nothing was more important than staying alive. Daryl is doomed. He's sure going to die. Kent thought. At that moment, the shark took another leap and bit on Daryl. Daryl was a cultivator. Although he could move at very fast speeds, he could not avoid the shark. Its sharp teeth slit through his entire arm. Wow, shouted the people on the shores while the lake was now being covered with blood. Before they could react, Daryl's head was seen submerging into the water along with the shark, and the water returned to its calmness for a moment. Oh no, he's gone. Well, no one asked him to act smart and fight. Everyone was shaking their heads while looking at the pool of bloodied water, coupled with the continuous shark movements. There was a coldness in their eyes without a sense of mercy in any of them. All of them looked down at the live-in son-in-law like his life did not worth anything. Episode 144. Lily sat lifelessly on the ground under the voices of the masses. Is he really dead? No, I won't let him to. He cannot die. She thought. What are all of you standing here for? Go help him, help him. Lily shouted at the crowd. Everyone's face looked troubled and no one dared to look back at Lily. Was she crazy? It was a 10-feet-long shark down there. No one would dare jump into the water and help. He was just a live-in son-in-law whose life was worth nothing. It was lucky that no one else got hurt. No one had asked him to act as the hero and save Lily. Lily did not give up. She put on her stilettos and walked towards William. William, you are part of the Linden family too. You have to save him. She could not ask others for help, hence she turned her hope to William. William gave a cold smile and said, I'm sorry about what happened to Daryl, but I can't really swim well. Besides, I would get killed if I were to get in there based on that shark's size. Although he sounded as if he felt terrible, he was in fact excited at heart. Lily turned and felt hopeless upon hearing his cold words. William added, Lily, it's your fault. You are the one who wanted to join the race. If we were to lose the race, it would have cost our family $1 billion. It's lucky the shark is here. At least we'll not lose $1 billion. Daryl had done a good deed for the family. His life in exchange for $1 billion. Don't forget, he died all because of you. Lily broke into tears upon hearing his words. She wanted to fight back, but she could not find the words. The water was once again peaceful with only blood flowing on the water surface. Daryl and the shark had not emerged for over 2 minutes. No one knew Daryl was exhausted deep under the water. He was still fighting the shark deep in the water with the remaining energy he still had. Daryl was injured badly, but so was the shark. There were countless wounds on its body. However, the shark only got more and more excited from the smell of fresh blood. With its bloody red eyes, it once again opened its jaws wide and charged towards Daryl. Again. Daryl held on tightly to his fist and turned his body to void that attack. At the same time, he reserved his remaining energy into his energy field. Bang. The water was quickly flowing and surrounded Daryl with a loud noise. Ascension of the 9 Dragons. With a loud roar, 9 golden dragons emerged from under the water and surrounded Daryl. Die! Daryl shouted. The 9 golden dragons began to bang the shark. Bang! The shark's huge body was being banged everywhere and became badly injured. Blood-drinking sword appeared in Daryl's hand as he pierced through the shark's body and caused plenty of blood to OZE out. What's happening? Why is there so much blood? Everyone on the shores could not see what had happened under the water. They could only see there was more and more blood floating to the surface. This live-in son-in-law must have been bitten to death, said one of them. Lily was heard crying loudly. No, he's not dead. He's not dead. Daryl's image appeared in her mind. It had been 3 years since their marriage. Just like in the movies, images of him kept appearing in her mind. You cannot die. You cannot die. I'm still in love with you. Please, please. She thought. Daryl. Lily shouted towards the sea as her tears uncontrollably fell. You are not allowed to die, Daryl. Did you hear me? Come back up now. You are not allowed to die. Come back now. Lily could not control her tears. She stood by the sea and cried inconsolably. You are not allowed to die. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Her voice was getting softer as she soon completely lost her strength. Who said that I'm dead? Just at that moment, a voice came from a distance. Lily looked up and saw Daryl's head slowly emerging from the water. His body was covered with blood while holding a dead shark in his right hand. A 10-feet-long shark was dragged by him to the shore effortlessly. This fish is for tonight's barbecue. It can feed all of us, right? He smiled. Although his voice was not too loud, everyone heard him loud and clear under the sun. Episode 145. It was complete silence. With Daryl reaching the shores, the 10-feet shark had also been dragged along the shores. Gulp. One of them among the crowd swallowed a big gulp of saliva. How did he do that? How was it possible for him to kill the shark? The few hundred of them were looking at Daryl. Everyone was stunned and amazed. That was incredible. Daryl smiled. Why is my dear wifey crying so badly? Were you worried about your dear hubby? You. Lily was really heartbroken earlier, thinking she would never see him again. She only wanted to hug him tightly when she saw him walking towards the shore. Her beautiful face was still covered with tears. She had not expected Daryl would still be joking around while calling out each other hubby and wifey in front of everyone. How embarrassing. Stop it, I wasn't worried about you. Lily said softly while drying her tears. She did not look back at Daryl. Daryl. Megan and Yvonne walked over. Are you fine? It was all thanks to Daryl that everyone managed to escape from being the shark's meal. The 3 beautiful ladies surrounding him made all those men envious. I'm all right. Daryl replied to the 3 ladies and smiled. Daryl was busy looking around at Lily, the Megan, and Yvonne. All 3 of them did not have a chance to change yet as they were still drenched wet in their clothes which showed their sexy body. Megan's body was the sexiest among them, it was so attractive. Lily's body had the perfect balance with an attractive killer waist. Not forgetting to mention Yvonne, who looked extremely elegant. He felt awesome being surrounded by the 3 ladies, haha. At that moment, a young man walked towards them while laughing and looking at Daryl with respect. Haha, you have really good strength. You are really brave to fight such a huge shark. It sounded ridiculous when some of them called you useless. I would say that was complete rubbish. He spoke fearlessly without caring about the feelings of the rest. He was of course referring to Kent, William, and a few other rich families' sons. Usually, Kent would have fought back by now, but both of them looked terrible and none dared to utter a word. Who was this guy anyway? The young man was Dax Sanders, from the Sanders family. The Sanders family was a huge family. His family business was not from trade but from society's underground businesses. Many years ago, Dax's grandfather came to the Donghai city port and built his fortune based on his pair of fists. After dozens of years, the Sanders family now owned countless bars and KTV. Everyone was fearful of their family. For the past few years, although the elderly Mr. Sanders still appeared as the person managing their family matters, the fact was that authority had already been passed on to Dax. Therefore, although Dax was still young, he had a very high status in the Donghai City underground society. Even both Brandon and Abby would greet Dax as their brother if they ever met. Due to the history of the Sanders family's businesses heavily related to the underground society, Dax loved to make new friends. He did not care if the person was rich. He only cared about one's loyalty. His family worshipped the war saint Guan Yu, who emphasized loyalty the most. Daryl was being looked down on by everyone but stood up and single-handedly fought against the shark. This made Dax really impressed by his bravery. The Sanders family was the highest status family among those who attended the outing. Everyone would want to build relations with them and none want to upset the Sanders family. Daryl did not recognize Dax as he replied with a smile, "It was just pure luck for me being able to kill the shark." Dax stepped forward. "I'm really impressed, brother Daryl. I'm Dax Sanders. Let's be friends." Truth be told, over their past 3 years of marriage, that was the first time someone did not look down on Daryl. Daryl smiled and shook Dax's hand. It was when he saw countless scars on Dax's arm. It looked really scary. What had Dax been through at such young age? Why did he have so many scars? Kent grinned coldly while watching both of them shaking hands.
For more episode, don't forget to subscribe.